I've been searching for you. Can you hear my voice calling from the streets? Deep calls unto deep. The purpose of your heart is deep waters, but a wise woman of understanding will draw it out of you. Come, drink from the fountain of wisdom, for my treasures are more valuable than rubies or gold. For I give long life, honor, and you receive favor from the Most High God.
I've been waiting for you. I'm Judah Jackson, the host and the content creator for Wise Woman's Wisdom. Welcome. Last week, I'm going to recap what we talked about. Last week, I shared with you your purpose. If you're a child of the Most High God with His DNA, this is your purpose. Purpose is singular, it's general, and every child of God has the same purpose for which you've been giving life, and that with the potential of being eternal. And your purpose is to love God and to enjoy Him forever. Now, we looked at some proofs of this being truth, and the primary one is that there's nothing else, no one, no thing eternal. And if you have the ability, the choice to have eternal life, whatever your purpose would be, would have to last eternity. So I asked people to write in the comments if they could think of anything eternal. Now, I didn't see any the last time I checked. If you said the sun, wrong answer. Scientists theorize that the sun one day will burn out. It is not eternal. If you said a rock, look at the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon was carved out with a river running over it hundreds of thousands of years. It was carved out. It's not eternal. So it's important to start and have that as your foundation as we build and excavate to discover your mission, because what we're going to do today is find your divine mission. How to find your divine mission. This is the first of many. It's going to be a series of videos about this topic. So, Discovering Your Divine Mission is the title of this next series. It's going to be several videos. Now, mission is a verb, it's an action. When someone commissions you to do a task or you have an objective, it could be a military mission, it could be a spiritual mission, which is what we're going to look at today. It could be a religious mission, missionary. But this channel probably appeals to people that have a dissatisfaction inside, hungering or thirsting for something more, like there's something else I need to be doing, or what is the specific thing that I need to be accomplishing. It comes at different stages in life, but it's usually there if you're not in alignment. But if you don't start off with that firm foundation of your purpose for life, you can get it confused with your vocation. Now, vocation has a spiritual element to it. The Latin root for vocation is vocare. It means to call. God is summoning us to do something. And so that's why it's so critical to have that foundation. But it's a choice. Everybody does not choose God. Everybody doesn't want to choose God. But if you don't start with that foundation, everything else is shaky, because you would be trying to satisfy something that is eternal with natural things or even a career, and you'll get all out of balance. You'll expend all your energy trying to satisfy it. It'll never get there, because the place that God holds, nothing else can fill. And so you'll get unbalanced. You might invest too much time in your job and neglect your family, or you might burn yourself out. You might have a heart attack, whatever. So critical to get that foundation in place. Now that we know about what a mission is, a divine mission, it is different from the purpose. The purpose is general and is singular. One purpose for all of God's children with His DNA. Mission is very specialized, customized, individualized. It matters what family you were born in, your gender, your race, your ethnicity, nationality, your likes, your dislikes, your strengths, your weaknesses. All of that is put together to fulfill your mission. And the mission has to do with serving humanity and mankind. So let me share some examples with you to help you understand mission and what it looks like. Because when it's a divine mission, sometimes the steps are not as straightforward as, okay, go to school, start this job, and then this is it. It looks differently. Let's look at the life of Moses. Moses, whose main mission was to be a deliverer for the Hebrew people from them being in bondage in Egypt. And his life started out first, his life was almost taken because they were killing babies, male children, 2 years and under. His mother put him in a basket and floated him down the Nile, and Pharaoh's daughter found him. As providence. God was acting with Moses. She fell in love. He was raised up in Pharaoh's house, ate Pharaoh's food, was trained by the Egyptians, very knowledgeable, very brilliant man. And then he found out he was a Hebrew and he actually killed someone. He had to go into exile. He became a shepherd, so quite different life. And then he had to go back to Pharaoh to demand that he let his people go. But that took 80 years. It took 80 years, and everything was used, all parts, when he was the prince of Egypt to when he was a sheep herder. It was all part of his mission. Now, something more modern that maybe you can relate to even more. I read an article about Audrey Hepburn, a famous actress in My Fair Lady and some other movies, but she was a very successful actress, and she had severe abandonment issues when her dad divorced her mom and left. She was just devastated by that. She went through a lot of bad relationships and marriages, really remarrying her dad again, men that weren't consistent, and walked out on her, and she left some of them. But either way, it wasn't until like her late 50s or 60s that she found her true love and her true mission, when she began to go all around the world caring for poor children. And she said, this is the mission for my life. And now, successful actress, that wasn't wasted, but all of that was part of it. And with her fame and reputation, it helped her be like a UNICEF ambassador, because when she came, everybody knew her, wanted to see her. She could raise money if she wanted to because of that. And so it was all working together. But ultimately, she felt that was the mission that she had for her life. Now, on a personal level, I want to share some examples. As when I was working I worked with the Work Source Centers. I worked in career planning. That was part of my career, being in career planning. And I've encountered different people, and these are some of the stories that stayed with me, and I think you'll be able to resonate with some. One older gentleman came in, and when they came to us, our job was to retrain them so they could get a new career. He had been in aerospace about 40 years, and his skills was obsolete, and he needed to start a new career. He's close to retirement, and so we give them a battery of tests, of academic tests, skills and abilities, aptitudes. Anyway, his results came off the charts artistic. All this creative artistic ability and interest. And so I say to him, have you thought about anything in the arts? What is that? I have a technical career. It was like the strongest artistic results I've seen the whole 5 years I was there. And he's been in the technical field for 40 years. It's like he missed it. I mean, he still could change his life around, but he couldn't even conceive that he could ever do anything in the art with his artistic, his desires or his interest. Another example, a young man came in and he played violin. He was like a virtuoso. He was so good that before he graduated from high school, the Los Angeles Symphony asked him to play with them. They had a concert, he played with them. He was going to be a Marine He was signing up for a Marine. He had stopped playing the violin because his peers used to tease him, saying he's weak or soft, and probably attacking his sexuality, making like he's a homosexual or something, and I think that bothered him, and he was trying to prove to himself and his friends that he was hard, he was tough, so he was going to join the military. Not just any military, one of the most highest difficult branch, the Marines. He was like 5'8", maybe about 140 pounds. Now, just being small doesn't mean that you can't be a good Marine, but with all of that artistic ability, chances are that he was meant to be a professional. He could have. So I tried to at least encourage him to keep playing the violin. Even if you want to be a Marine, you can be a Marine and playing a violin. But he was trying to prove something to himself. Heartbreaking, but I only saw him a short amount of time. I don't know how his life turned out. But then another young man came in. Academics off the chart. All this aptitude and ability. Articulate. Well-mannered, even very attractive. He did want to go to the military. Now, the conflict he was having, he happened to be Hispanic. I bring that up because quite often it's very strong family ties. His mother did not want him to go to the military. I understand that. But he was really feeling a call of duty to go, so he was very conflicted. I was listening to him and talking to him. And so I said, you know, I understand, probably if I was your mother, I wouldn't want you to go either. However, somebody is meant to be there. And he said, that's exactly what I thought. And so I believe he went on to be in the military. What I did try, because he was so intelligent, I recommended that he look at officer training. But I hope something in that resonated with you. These are stories, testimonies, things that have happened, people, the struggles, some of the struggles that we have. And sometimes mission is very complex. It comes in components, a combination of experiences. It may not just be one direct job or line. It might be progressive, and it might add up to your ultimate mission. Now, to close today, I want to share a quote by Ava DuVernay, the famous African-American director. She says, if your dream only involves you, it's too small. Okay, family, if this video has added value to your life, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Until we meet again, go with love.